Hello, strong people. It is week 7, day 1 of offseason prep leading into the Olympic City Pro-Am prep. Oh, it's cold. Today, we got some log press again. Thankfully, I'm so happy to be back to standing press specifically. I don't like seated pressing, but still got to do it. Builds a general strength. But today, we have a strict 10 rep max on log press out of the rack. So no cleans yet. Thankfully, I don't want to clean it just yet. No idea what I'm going to hit again, which is pretty much, how it goes. I think I had like a 7 rep max for log a while back leading into nationals. I think I hit like mid 2s or something. So, I don't know. I expect to be a little bit off just because I haven't done standing pressing in like 6 weeks, 6 weeks, I think. Probably the last time I did standing pressing was when I hit that 405 axle out of the rack and like the 400 log. I think those were a couple days apart or a week apart or something. But I'm just happy to be back doing it. So hopefully it goes all right. I've already done some warm-ups, so I'm a little bit out of breath. I'm dressed all nice and warm for this. Oh, it looks like my log's getting a little bit of rust on it. I'll have to get that fixed up. It'll be all right. Strong man. Oh, a little update on that competition I was at Saturday volunteering. I ended up judging the whole day, which is fine. It's stressful being a judge. But I was pretty cool. I got to coach a couple of referee for some of my buddies. And that was always cool. And of course, I'm not going to give them any easy calls. I got to earn it just like everybody else. But it's pretty nice giving the down call for your buddy when he hits the state record log press at 375 pounds. Shout out to Kucharski. And then my buddy Seth, second competition ever, wins the sled drag by like 3 seconds for his class and then ends up podiuming, which is huge. So, although I did, obviously when you go, you're like, I want to compete. But being a judge all day, you kind of have your hands full, and it's nice to see other people do well. So I'm not too mad about not competing. I could have if I wanted to. I just didn't. Wanted to get this off season in, and I just wouldn't have had that if I would have done the show. But that's enough talking. It's cold, and I want to stay warm. So let's start moving some weight. Well, 10 rep max on log is done. Sort of. Honestly, after the way warm-ups felt, 250, I used 250 as my last warm-up, and it didn't feel great. So I went to 270 and did my 10 rep max there, and I was like, well, that felt kind of, easier than I had anticipated. I misgrooved like rep 4, got it a little bit out in front of me, and I think one later rep at like 7 or 8. But I was like, well, that still didn't feel too bad at rep 10. And I had this number in mind coming into the day, and I was like, nah, that's probably a bit much. I never say that. Never. Or at least I try not to. But after that said, I was like, maybe I could do that. I can grind out reps on strict press. Just turn it into a standing bench press. It all counts. It's strongman. So that's another thing. Real quick, thoracic mobility. You need to learn how to use it. Lean back when you press. My coach would disagree with you on this, but this is the way I like to press. It's worked best for me. Some people will get their head through it immediately and then finish the press like that. I know Tom Stoltman does that. And obviously he's a great presser. Obviously, I don't have to state that. But back on topic. I did the 270 fairly easily. I don't want to say easily, but easier than I thought I would. I sat here for a second. I was like, no, I shouldn't go up. And I was like, well, let's try it. That's really about all I had to say in my head. So I loaded the weight, got ready, went for it. It felt heavy, but I felt like I could grind out reps. And I got to 7 or 8, and I started leaning back more and more and more. And although I'm okay with that, I don't want to do it too much now because I haven't done it in a while. So 9 and 10 would have been a grind and a half if I could even do them. So I stopped at 8 and was like, annoyed that I didn't get the scheduled 10, but happy because it was after 270 for 10. Without the 270 for 10, I'd have to think that those other 2 reps were there, which is, that's crazy to me. I can't believe that. So 300 for 8. At the start of my last block, when I did strict press log, I'm pretty sure I got 300 for 5. And I remember that being a pretty crazy grind for 5. I hope I'm right about that. It could be wrong. I think I had a 7 rep max, a 5 rep max, and a 3 rep max, and then a 1 rep max, of course. I feel like my 7 was like a 265, and that was fairly easy. I remember it being easy. So the next week I had the 5 rep max, and I did 300, and I thought that was great. And I remember that being a grind, too. 330 was my 3 rep max. I was happy with that for sure. And then 350 is what I hit for my 1 rep max. I was disappointed in that, obviously. Not obviously. I wanted a little bit more. Usually I'm better at singles, but I wasn't that day. I remember it very well. So, although I didn't get 10 on 300, I'm confident in saying that I know it's there fresh. I wouldn't say, doing 10 reps with 270 right before would means I'm fresh. So if I wouldn't have done that, I think it would have been there. But coulda, woulda, shoulda. That wasn't in the plan. 30-pound jumps. And 270 to 300 is a 30-pound jump, and I wasn't quite there. Maybe I wasn't strong enough. Maybe it was because I did 270 first. Doesn't matter. I'm happy with it either way. I think I have not single arm dumbbell military press, but alternating dumbbell military press. So let's go set that up. All right, well, my main accessory is done. It was just 2 sets of 10 alternating military dumbbell press. It's a lot of words. I stayed pretty light on that, like 65 pounds per hand. And I stayed light because obviously I went pretty hard on the log strict press there. And that's okay. You know, it's to back to back to back exercises just going completely crazy when your strength training isn't quite ideal. If you're staying relatively light the whole way, your intensity can be it can be up the whole time. But whenever you have, you know, max effort sets at heavy weights, it's not necessarily a smart thing to do that every single set. Like the way Sam Sulek trains, he goes like he'll use lighter weight relative to him, and you know, crazy heavy, not crazy heavy, but crazy intense sets, and that's okay because he's not going as heavy, and he's smart enough to know when to pull back. And I had a bit of a brain fart there in that first rep. I was like, what am I doing? I had to sit there and think about it because you know, naturally I pressed both of them at the same time to start the set. I was like, wait, that's not right. And then I lowered one. I was like, am I supposed to alternate that way? And then I was like, oh, wait, now I remember. Because I never do alternating stuff like that. Occasionally, like if it's curls or something, I'll do that. But I don't. Like it's not a thing that you'd really use in strongman, alternating hands like that. It's when you're pressing, for sure. But moving on to the next thing, I think I have single arm lat pull downs, like kneeling. I'll show you what I mean. I like them as an exercise. I feel like they really target my lats. It's different. It's very different from a regular lat pull down. So you guys will see it. This is legitimately one of my favorite lat exercises. It's very boring to do, but I walk away with a crazy lat pump. And it really helps with the mind-muscle connection because you need that for a lot of strongman events. Lats are a huge stabilizer muscle when it comes to pressing, when it comes to keeping the bar close to you in deadlifts. You use your lats big time when you pick stuff off the floor. All stuff that you need to be good at in strongman. There's more than that, but you know, that's just off the top of the head. And now because I'm talking, I have lost count. 2 more for good measure. Something I forgot to mention, that was my first set you saw, this is my last set. Something I forgot to mention is, I like to kind of almost have my arm behind me to a degree, and then lean away a little bit. I notice that I don't have the same type of like mobility on this side, and my bicep wants to take over a little bit more. I don't feel quite the same activation in my lat, so it's something I definitely need to work on. You don't realize the imbalances you have until you do a lot of unilateral movements. Like unilateral leg press is one that a lot of people like to use. Unilateral pressing, of course. Those are the 2 big ones that come to mind. There's other ways to do it if you don't have machines. Obviously, not all pressing is on machines, but it's not something that I've done extensively. But maybe it's something I could benefit from. I think everybody could, probably. Hard to tell. Hard to tell. All right, so what I have next We got some front and side delt raises. And I believe they're alternating as well. So I'm going to superset them. They're supposed to be dumbbell, but I prefer bands for delt exercises like this. It's just my preference. I love the constant tension. I don't know if my coach would agree with it, but it's what I've been doing for a while, and it seems to be working. So I don't really want to switch it up just yet. So we'll see how good how much tension we got here. I'm trying to keep a little bit of tension, so I'm not letting it go completely at the bottom. I hope you're counting, because I'm not. And then from there, we can go right into the sides. But doing it unilaterally like this, it definitely feels like I take more time for each rep, really focus on it rather than just kind of bang out the reps. And because I'm only doing 2 sets of 10, I'm going to go right back into the front delt raise. Just because. If I was doing like 4 sets, I would take a little bit more of a breather in between. But because I'm not, let's just do them back to back and see what kind of pump we can get. Yep. That's a pump. God. Usually the side delts are the tough ones, but not right now. Maybe they will be here in a second. 3, 4, 5. Oh. Wow. That didn't take much to get a pump there. They're definitely a little fried from the previous shoulder exercises. I think next I have some sort of a rear delt exercise. I'll have to look at it. I don't know. I never know what I'm doing. So one of my favorite things about having a home gym and having like almost only free weights besides that lat pull down machine, you got to get creative. And honestly, some of the things that I craft in here, I would take over a lot of gym machines. I prefer this. You'll see what I mean, because this, like right here, I'm about to enjoy this movement. Rear delt flies, incline. Oh, yep. That's going to do what I need it to. I know you guys out there are neglecting your rear delts. Why? You don't have a full delt, a nice looking shoulder, unless you have rear delts. And that little extra double pump there at the end, I like to do actually. I did it on calves when I like train calves. And I just feel like it gets a little bit more blood in there. And now some incline regular fly. This is going to be fairly light, which is kind of what I want. I just want to work on a nice squeeze. I don't usually like, I shouldn't say I don't usually like. I've gotten very used to chest flies like this, and I started liking them. I still like them with a band way more. I like that constant tension. Dumbbells seems to hurt my shoulders a little bit. I just feel like I don't get the squeeze the same way that I get a squeeze with bands. And same thing that I did on front and side delts. I'm going to do just these sets back to back. I need to get these a little bit more tension on these ones. Hopefully it's not too much. I still need a little bit more. Rear delts are a little bit stronger than I had anticipated. Okay, that might be too much, but we're going to roll. Yeah, that was good. Wow. Okay. Okay, those really pumped now. It's hard to reach back. All right. Let's finish strong. I like to get this positioned up around my arms so I get a little bit more pull. Oh. Those are some good accessories today. I'm happy with that. Let's round this up. Well, that's what we're going to call the video for today. I still have my, I almost always have some sort of core movement at the end of my workout. And core sucks. I hate training core, but it is what it is. I need it. It's crazy important. Very, very important in terms of overhead stability, breathing and bracing against it. There's no downside to having a strong core, so I do it. I'd rather just do it and get it done with, because it's usually the last thing I do, and I ain't going to set up a camera or anything to record. I'm just going to do it and be done. So this is probably going to be a longer video. I recorded and talked a little bit more during my sets, which I like to do from time to time to get a little more insight into what exactly I'm doing. If some of you don't know, just in case. I can't assume that everybody knows, everything. I definitely don't know everything. That's why I have someone program for me, because I would be a mess if I had to program for myself. I'd have no idea what to do. Oh well. I like having the mindlessness of just seeing what I need to do, going in and doing it without doing much thinking. Well, I don't have a whole lot else to say because I talked a lot during the workout. What I can say is tomorrow we have some deadlifts, some axle bar deadlifts. The chiro massage person, whatever, told me to go pretty light for like 2 or 3 weeks while we work on my shoulder area for the next, well, I guess, Wednesday and then next Wednesday. And then after that, then, we'll probably be good to go. We're just trying to get it loosened up or whatever needs done before I actually go crazy heavy. So we got some speed reps on axle deadlifts for the next 2 weeks with bands. And that's going to be fun because I have not pulled with an axle from the floor. And I don't even know, since before we moved here. So I have some numbers in mind that I want to hit come comp day, but we have a lot of time before we have to worry about that. Just got to focus one training day at a time. So until next time, go out, get strong, stay strong. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.